Okay. So if you recall, when I was linking, I said I was not going to link the JavaScript. Now, this is one of those things. See what, normally this drop down, this is supposed to activate, like drop down something. So that action is a JavaScript action. So it's, Bootstrap comes with that bundle that handles that stuff. So let me quickly link it so that drop down can actually start working. Now, how do you link JavaScript? JavaScript is best linked at the end of the body of your page before the closing body here. How do you link it? It's not, we don't use link. Link is for mainly for CSS. We use SCRI script. Okay, can select this first one or this second one, but this last one. But best select this last one so that it will come up with this SRC. SRC stands for source. If you can remember, when creating an image tag, it has SRC, the source of the image. So the same thing is asking you the source of the JavaScript. So the same thing, had we have downloaded it, we can just link to maybe the file, this JavaScript file, which came with Bootstrap. But since we did not download, I'm using CDL link. I just come here and copy this link. This is what I'll paste inside the SRC, the source. So this is the source, the Bootstrap. So let's go back to the browser and refresh. Check what will happen to my dropdown. You see, the action is taking place now. The dropdown is now working because of that JavaScript. Now I want to remove this dropdown. I also want to remove this disabled button here. So what do? I can quickly come here and look at, see how I'm going to organize. Let me remove this, my terminal. First of all, I fold this div container and see what is inside. Okay, this is what's carrying everything. I move this one backwards, so I'll align properly. I open it again. I fold this button. And then I look at this UL. This UL is what is, remember when we created our this boot.html, well, not boot, sorry. Yeah, those other files. We used UL to actually create that navigation side. As you can see here, it's still the same UL that they are using to create the whole navigation section, UL. The only difference is that they added the bootstrap classes, which is used for the stylings. And then you have the list and then the anchor with bootstrap classes. Now, home should take us to, let's say, index.html. Okay. Now, let me change this link to form. And it should take us to form.html. So I'm filling up this stuff. Form.html. Now, look at the drop down. I will simply fold it. As I folded it, look at where it's opened and look at where it's closed. So if you want to remove anything, always fold it. Know where the opening tag you are deleting from and where the closing tag ends and remove. I want to remove this link. I simply highlight. I've folded it and I've removed. I also want to remove this disabled button. I fold it, opening and close, I delete. Now, I want to, let's refresh first and look at what we have. If I refresh here, I have just home and form. So I want to create more links. So what do? Just copy the link, this one. Control C, come here, paste, come here, paste. So I can change this one to table. Change this one to table.html since we have a table file. Change this one to which other file do we have here? Gallery. Good. Change it to gallery.html. Gallery. Now, this is based on my choice. This is how I want my own to look like, or this is what I'm trying to achieve. Come here, refresh. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you notice something, this home is actually darker a little. That's a kind of to show that this is the home page. Or rather, let me make this home page because we are on this page. Let me make bootnav.html, the home page. Bootnav.html. Good. Use double O. Okay. Now, this active class is not really, the color is not really the way I want it to look like. It's not active enough for me. So what do I do? What can I do? Let's see. Let's say navlink a.active. Or rather, let me add I need to add my own class. Okay, let me add my own class here. Don't really need it. Okay, let me say a.active. Color pink. Let's refresh. Okay, of course it won't work because I can't override their own unless I add my own class. So I can come here and add what class name now? Can I add here? Entity. Okay. I say dot entity. It's not targeting it well. So how do I debug? I actually want to override the active class for this. So how do I debug? What I will do is I'll right click here, inspect. So this is one of the ways you can actually debug. And let me expand this. Good. Let me go to the CSS section. Oh. Let me put this thing below. Good. Styles. Selector. Good. See what is happening. See their own. .nav dot active. Okay. Let's try this. See, color has changed. It's active. So this is one way of debugging. Maybe you are trying to override their own style, whatever they did on that particular something. And you added a class, but it's not actually changing. What you can do is, let me reiterate this step again so you follow. What I did was I click on the browser, I just right click, inspect. When you go to inspect, click on this, go to this style section. Now this window can either be, let me show you how I change now. It can either be by the side. So it's your choice. I just put it down so this thing will be visible. You can change the position of this inspect window. Then you click on this kind of arrow button, the first one, which is to select an element. I clicked on it, and then I selected this home page because that is where the active class is, because that is the place I am. Because I'm looking for that active class. Look at it here. .nav, navbar -nav, -link, .active. What I did was just to copy it, because that is the selector. After copying it, I went to the place I wanted to customize my own styling, pasted it, and then changed the color to what I want. So this is one way of actually customizing. If you want to change one particular stuff that is not changed, you can expect, go to where it, copy the selector, paste it where you want to update, customize your own and change that property to what you want. So I can actually remove this. So active class is now pink. It's now pink. So I don't want to go further so that it wouldn't confuse you the more, because I know that this alone now is quite confusing, but it's something that you can, if you can just understand the reason behind using Bootstrap, that is okay by me. Why are we using Bootstrap? Because it has the reusable components that you use in creating websites. It's already done it for you. All you need to do is just to search for that particular component, copy it, paste it in your ID or whatever you are working, whatever file you are trying to create it, update. It makes development easier for you. Some of the time and the energy you will spend in trying to research about moving this to the left, taking this to the right, the stress now reduces. So even if you want to change one particular something, it's now easier for you to actually research based on how far you have already gone. Instead of doing everything from scratch, at least you are starting from somewhere. It's already half done for you. That is the reason why we use Bootstrap. It makes development easier. And how do you connect it to your project? The same way you link your CSS file when styling. That's the same way you link it, either by downloading or using a CDN link. But I've not shown you how to download and bringing it to your root folder. What I've used so far is the CDN link. And how do you get the CDN link? Just go to Bootstrap, getbootstrap.com. Let me paste the link in the group. Just go to getbootstrap.com. If you scroll down, you will see a link, CDN links. Copy the first one, which is for the CSS. Go to the head section. You can come here, paste it before your own custom CSS. Create that link stuff. Inside the href, remove the file there, the CSS file, and paste that link. That is all. And paste the link. When you paste for the CSS, you do the same thing for the Bootstrap, for the JavaScript. Come down here. Before the closing body, do SR scripts. It stands for JavaScript. Select the one with SRC. Inside the SRC, copy the link, this one, for JavaScript JS. Go back and paste. Once you have linked and you want to test, okay, have I actually linked my bootstrap? Let's check. You can just create a new page. After linking, just select any stuff you want to. I can search for button. It's easier you can test easily with button. Come here and search, say button. Just hit enter. You can see any of these, copy it. You can even copy all of them. So you see how it's appearing in your browser. So let me copy all of them now. Come here. Let's say in this page, let me remove everything here. Paste it. I've not linked it. Let me copy the link I have here. Paste it before my own custom CSS. Index.html. Let's put it in the browser. Aha, look at it. I've pasted all of them. I've copied all of them. So, which means I linked my bootstrap very well. Now you can start. Once you can do this, is enough. At least I know that today's class is not wasted. At least you understood something. Just this, if you can understand the reason behind why Bootstrap is important and how to actually connect it to your page and how to test if you have actually linked it properly, that is enough. That is okay. Then from here, we can start maybe thinking of how to practice some of their layouts, the components, the importance, and how it's being used. So just understand this. Why do we use Bootstrap? How to link it to your page and how to check if you have linked it properly. Then you can start testing components, searching them one after the other. Like button, you can even go and search for navbar. Since I've shown you button and navbar, come here. Navbars. See, can come here and copy the whole of this. Let me come here and paste it before this one. On refresh, let's go back and refresh. Oh, I've added it. You know, so once you can do this, that's okay by me. So any question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful lecture, first of all, sir. In fact, it's really an awesome lecture and presentation. Then my question is of two types, sir. Now, you've done this nav buttons that you did now, and this is exactly what I was talking about, getting a submit button, coming to make it as a navigation button.
Yeah.
I have gotten this now. But along the line, I lost my connection, which I just reconnected before seeing you, that you've already put in a nav bar, colored it, and put a search bar, which was my first question on the initial day, which you say we are going to get there. Please, I don't know if it's possible for you to reiterate back on how you color that nav bar and put in that search bar, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Now, for starters, I did not put this search bar separately. It came with this. And remember, I keep on emphasizing on this, the reason why we are using Bootstrap. Now, I'm using Bootstrap because the time it will take me to actually create this from scratch, create these links, style them, create this nav bar, style it, and push it to the top right like this. It takes a lot of time and resources and research because I will be trying and testing and also researching the style and properties to use. That is why I opt for Bootstrap, because as a developer, my work is always to look for tools that will make my development easier and faster. Now, coming to Bootstrap, I know that Bootstrap have components, lots of components that I can use, and I want to create a navbar. And that navbar I have in mind should have a search bar like this with the links, and maybe I can actually change this to logo, but we'll get there. Now, what do? I went to my Bootstrap. First of all, you have to connect and link your bootstrap. And where do you link? This is what I did. Okay, let me remove everything here again. I first of all created my document, so I won't waste time to update the title. Now, I want to work with Bootstrap. I create a link because I want to link my Bootstrap class. Oh, sorry. I select this one, CSS. I go and copy, scroll down. Since I'm not downloading, I want to use CDL links. I copy this CDS for CSS, this particular one for CSS. I copy it, go there, replace it inside here. Replace it with this. Replace the style of CSS with the link I copied. Now, I also have JavaScript link to copy. So to copy the JavaScript link, I remember I said you put the JavaScript at the end of the body, before the closing body. Maybe in our next class, remind me, let me tell you the reason why we normally put it down there. So I paste this, I'll go and copy the JavaScript, copy it, and paste. Okay, now I've connected this. Now I actually want to check if I have linked my Bootstrap properly. So easier way, one thing I can do is simple. I can just call the Bootstrap class .btn. Let's say btn primary. Although I can just go and copy it, but I already know the class name. So as for you, you can just come here. Since you have connected, you want to check if you have actually connected, you can search for any component. So it's easier to search for button. You can come here. Okay. I can copy everything here. I can go here, inside the body here, and paste what I copied. Let me indent this. Okay. So now maybe refresh and check. Oh, sorry. Let me refresh here and check. Whoa, okay, I've connected properly. Good. So at least I know that I've connected my CSS properly, my Bootstrap properly. So what do? I remove this. Now I want to create a navigation bar because I have a reason. I want to create a navigation. That's why I am using Bootstrap to make life easier for me. So my development will be easier and faster. So I come to this Bootstrap. I search for navbar. I've opened navbar. I scroll down. I've seen this navbar, and this looks like the one I want to create. What I have in mind, it should have a search bar by the right-hand side. Okay, I still go further and check. Okay, I've seen this one. This one doesn't have exactly what I want. I've seen this one. This one doesn't have that search bar that I want. Okay, I scroll down. So basically, I like this first one, which is the one that has the search bar that I need. So I just copy it to clipboard, go back to my code. In the body, I paste. I save, refresh, go to the browser, refresh. Wow, I have my navigation bar. But then this color, I don't like it. I want to put my own color. I want to style my own because I have something in mind, but it's somehow of this structure, but not exactly like this. So there are changes I have to make. How do I make such changes? Say they can come here. Try to look at some of this. The nav bar itself is what you should be looking at. That's the background color of the nav bar. So it should be here. This BG light is the one responsible for the color. So I can remove it. Or maybe, let me leave it. I'll show you a different approach. Although when you watch the video, you see the first approach, the place you said you lost connection, you see the first approach. Let me still show you another approach. Remember what I always say, that the way you do stuff and the way another person do it might not be the same, but in the end, you could arrive at the same thing. So let me show you another approach. Let's say I don't want to remove that BG light. Okay, so let me see if there's another way I can do it. Let me inspect. I said to inspect, I have something in mind. So let me go and select this nav. See, I've selected this nav bar. Okay, let's look at this code. Well, let me select again. Okay. Roots, oh, CSS. Body, nav bar, .bg lights. Are you seeing this?
Yes, I'm
.bg
seeing it, sir.
lights. Good. So what I will do now, because this is the one that is responsible for the coloring. So what I will do, I will just copy it entirely. I'll copy it entirely. Why this thing won't come? Stress my life. Copy. Now I've not linked my own CSS. So let me quickly do that. Link. I want to say, okay, let me say it's style.css. Let me come here and create style.css. Now let me paste this. Remember, it's class.bglight. Look at their background color. Let me change it to. And look at this. It might not work. Well, I don't know if it will work, but look at this important. Okay. This important is what is more like no matter what they do, don't change this color. No matter what they do, don't change this color. So, see what I'm going to do. Let's see if this will solve the problem. Let me change my color to brown. Let's refresh. Let me refresh here. Let's go back. Refresh. See. But this is not the approach I used before, if you can recall. Now, let me show you the approach I used before. The approach I used before was to remove this, since this one is the one responsible for it, I removed it. Then created my own CSS, my own class. I called it Ima. And then went to my CSS, targeted my class, and then gave it a background color. Now, let me give it a different background color. Let me say yellow. Let me make the yellow kind of be good. So see this. See, this is another way. So I can actually inspect and target, use their own selector and change it. Change what they have there in their own selector. But if I'm to do so, now let me show you something. Let me remove this one. Let me put back their own. These BG lights. Okay. So let's see. It has gone back to the brown. Now let's see something. Oh. Running out of time. Let's refresh. You see that thing I told you about? Now my own is not, remember, the style is still here. .bg lights brown, but it's no longer brown. Why? Look at this, my CSS. I placed my own before the bootstrap. So once the code releases to my own and goes back to this place and reads and sees brown, it comes back and checks bootstrap and see that bootstrap has its own as white. So their own will override my own. So that is why you always place your own link after theirs. After bootstrap, you paste your own custom link so that your own will always override, because your own is the one you're using to customize. So it will always override. Say the other question. I hope
Yes,
this one is
sir.
clear.
Second, very much clear, sir. Second question before we run out of time. Now, I saw how you impute, that is, I saw when you removed the drop-down box, the drop-down menu.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, my question is, How do you create a drop-down menu inside a drop-down menu?
Okay, of course, you can create a drop down inside the drop down. Let's take this one for instance. Look at this drop down, anchor class drop down. And then inside this one, we have this and this and this, blah, 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 blah. So I can copy this one now, this drop down, and come here. After this anchor, let me say I want to make this first one action. I want to change it to drop down as well. So I can come here and paste this one and paste it. Now another thing is this, I'll add this drop down class. I have to add this drop down class to it. Oh, let me copy the class table. Come here and paste. Everything is all about trying to understand how this thing was structured. Then I come down here, class drop down item. Then after this, we now have the drop down itself. Wait, where is this? Okay, sorry. Now I'll copy this link. Let's see what we have so far. Let me remove this. Wait. Okay. So this one will now have our UL. If I'm not mistaken. Or LI. Let's call this one action 1. Let's go back. Okay. Call this one action. Let's see. Now, there is a class I've not added. As you can see, inside this drop down, I have this actions has become a drop down. But then I have to add the class that's responsible for the folding and the unfolding. So that should be this. Okay, let's see. Good. Okay. Let me add the next class, which is nav item of the drop down. Oh, sorry, copy the class entirely. Wait. Class drop item. Okay. Drop down toggle, URL drop down. Li, have item drop down. Yep. Okay. Give it a row and an area span of force. Okay. Yeah. Although this can be confusing if you are following the code, but you can as well find it in Bootstrap, but let me look for a better solution. Drop downs. We have single drop down lengths, split buttons, sizing, back drop down, menu drop down. Let's take this first drop down. Okay. So refresh this. Okay, good. Now we have this button called action, toggle drop down. It's the toggle drop down button. Is it visually hidden? So list action, let me copy this one. I class. Hmm. Where is this? All right, then